Hail, fellow travelers. Tim from Secret Fire Books here with a book haul. I know, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I've been trying to be good lately with my book buying habits. I'm really just saving up for Pulp Fest. Once August rolls around and Pulp Fest is over and done with, I will probably have the mother of all book hauls to bring home from that convention. But until then, I've been trying to be a little more moderate with my spending. I've had a few new acquisitions here and there. Quite a few of these are from fellow booktubers, and some are even things that I've brought in for free from the children's consignment shop that my family runs. If you didn't know, my parents bought a children's consignment shop just last week, and so over the past several days, the entire family has been busy working there, selling children's clothing and toys and books and what have you. And quite a bit of our stock is actually expired, meaning that it's past the point where our consigners, the folks that turn in all the stuff that we sell, can profit off of whatever they turn in. So we give them 120 days. If their items don't sell within that 120 days, the items are officially ours. We can do with it whatever we want, and they are unable to receive any profits from it. So we had quite a few books that were expired. They've been at the shop for over 120 days. And so we could essentially do whatever we wanted with them. And with these, we had newer copies of said books that were still within the consignment period. So the donators could still make money off of those. So I decided to take in some of the expired stock. The first thing I picked up was this copy of A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. I don't know how that name is pronounced. I've actually never heard it spoken out loud. I've never read this book. I've heard a lot about it, not so much the plot, but that people have a lot of fond memories of this book. I know that it is a sort of middle grade science fantasy, and that a few years back it got made into a horrible movie that no one likes to talk about. Aside from that, I know precious little, though it has this wild-looking centaur character on the front here. I don't know, I'll probably get around to that at some point. It's supposed to be a classic. And speaking of middle grade fiction, the next thing I picked up from the consignment shop was this copy of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. Now, I don't usually pick up Harry Potter books. I can't ever see myself spending too much money on Harry Potter. It's not really my cup of tea. I watch the movies. I like them fine enough. And I do intend to read the books at some point, but I can't see myself going out of my way to buy copies of Harry Potter and bumping them up my TBR so I can venture into that world. I don't know. It's just, I feel like there are times when I really want to read this series, and then I'll see people who have, you know the kind of people I'm talking about. The people who love Harry Potter so much they don't read anything else, and it kind of kills my enthusiasm for the series. But this paperback copy was in fairly good condition, and like I said, we had another newer copy for sale, so I went ahead and grabbed that. So yeah, at some point I'm sure I'll have the whole series in my collection. I don't know when I'll get around to it, if I ever will. Now, I also picked these up from the store. Now, keep in mind, this is a children's consignment store. We have items that are appropriate for children. So when I was looking through the books after we first moved in, and I found this boxed set of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin, I thought to myself, well, that doesn't belong here. These are not children's books. There is some seriously X-rated stuff going on in these novels. So, thankfully, it was also expired. I went ahead and picked it up and took it out of the store because we probably weren't going to sell it at all. And also, we wouldn't want to sell it considering how risque the contents of these books are. Now, I have a very strong grudge against this series and its author, George R. R. Martin. I'm not going to go into a huge rant about it because I'm sure there's many people on the internet doing that. But I will say that I don't know what I'm going to do with these books. I have no intention of ever getting back into the series. Because if you know anything about Song of Ice and Fire, you know that we're most likely never going to get an ending to this series. And it's not like they're all standalones where you can read each of them and be satisfied with the ending. It's a continuous series The story is still ongoing. I'm sorry. If you're one of those people who says, oh, A Song of Ice and Fire is one of the greatest fantasy series of all time, it doesn't matter if George finishes it or not, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. It's an unfinished story. There I go. I said I wasn't going to rant, but there I am ranting. The point is, I took these from the shop because we obviously weren't going to sell them, and now I don't know what to do with them. Maybe I'll give them to a friend of mine. Maybe I'll sell them on eBay. I don't know. The box itself is falling apart. It's not a very... It's actually a very cheaply made gift set rather than a collector's box set. Just has some promotional images from the TV series on it. The books themselves are in nice condition, though. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Dance of Dragons is over... It's over 1,100 pages. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, if you write a sequel to your series and it's over 1,000 pages long and you still haven't finished the story that you started in the first volume, you're just doing something wrong, man. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to rant on this any longer. I promise. Okay, so getting away from all that, let's move on to some stuff that was sent to me by friends of the channel, some fellow booktubers. Now, Virgil from Literally Books has been raving about the Nift series by Michael Shea for a while now. He just put up a full review of Nift the Lean, I think sometime last week. And it was a good video, and at the end of it, he was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to give this copy of this book to Tim from Secret Fire Books because he deserves it. And I was like, oh, okay. I appreciate that, man. And so he did indeed send me The Incomplete Nift by Michael Shea. The cover kind of reminds me of those, not Harlequin romances, but those old, like, fantasy romances from the 90s. Obviously, this was before romantasy was a thing, but you know what I'm talking about. The romance novels that are set in, like, a historical or historical fantasy period. So they have the big shirtless guy with the scantily clad woman on the front. I don't know, that's what it strikes me as. It's definitely a lot different from the DAW edition of Nift the Lean with that gnarly looking Michael Whalen cover. But from what I know of this book, from just reading a little bit about it and also from watching Virgil's video, I believe this collects most of the Nift stories by Michael Shea. It says right here on the back in this little box, publisher's note, parts of this work were previously published as Nift the Lean and The Mines of Behemoth. So I think it is most of the, I think they're novellas about the character Nift, written by Michael Shea. I think there might have been some rights issues going on with some of the other stories, so they weren't able to publish them in like a complete volume, hence the Incomplete Nift. I'm actually not sure, but yes, I believe this is most of the stories that he wrote about that character. So yeah, thank you, Virgil. I'll have to bump this up on the TBR. I've heard some awesome things about that. The way he described the stories in his video sounded very intriguing. And as Virgil is wont to do when he sends people books, he also sent me a little trinket. And what he sent me was this little miniature, this little demonic-looking gargoyle. I don't know how well that shows up. You can't even tell what this is. This is a gargoyle. There's my obligatory Bardic Broadcast reference for this video. Come back, Bard. We miss you, man. And then Chris from Liminal Spaces, who is Virgil's co-conspirator, his partner in crime, on not just the Literally Liminal live stream, but also the new horror-themed podcast, YouTube show, whatever you want to call it, book club show, Secret Society Red, that he and Chris do with Brian from Bad Taste Books. They actually just put out their first episode a couple days ago, and it was awesome. Chris from Liminal Spaces actually took some pictures of some books and was like, hey, do you want these? And I was like, yes, I do. Because, guys, here's the thing. If you don't want some books in your collection and they have covers that look like this, you don't need to ask if I want them. You can just send them my way. Because look at this. So yeah, this is Peter Valentine Timlet's The Power of the Serpent. Look at this freaking cover. We got a barbarian dude with lightning shooting off his sword. We got a big old snake. We got scantily clad barbarian babes. We got some primitive demi-human looking guys down there. Yeah, this is my jam, baby. The saga of brave swords and demon lusts in a hell war for human souls. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm actually going to read the back blurb because I took a look at it when I first got this in the mail. Warrior priests in cosmic combat for the blood of mankind. Druthan, archmage of the druid cult, called his priests to the sword when Mog Aegorn defected to the demon powers and besieged sacred Stonehenge. Not only was the survival of druidry at stake, but the fates of humanity as well, for Mog Aegorn had made an awesome pact with the dark forces. He'd betted his only daughter to spawn a vile champion from the depths of hell, and he'd sworn mankind's unborn children to the evil ones in return for victory. That is the most true cult metal back blurb I've ever read on a fantasy book. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know if this is any good. I've never heard of Peter Valentine Timlet, but good lord, that sounds amazing. Chris from Liminal Spaces also sent me this book. This is the novelization of the movie Krull by Alan Dean Foster, who is known for writing many, many novelizations of famous films. I've actually never read anything by Foster. I don't know if he's any good. But Krull is a movie that I've never seen the entirety of. I remember seeing bits and pieces of it on TV growing up, but I've never seen all of it. Who knows? Maybe I'll read the novel Krull before I watch the movie Krull. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know. That worked out when I did that with Star Trek. I read the books and then watched the TV show, and I like Star Trek, so maybe I'll like Krull just as much. These next two books are books that were recommended to me by other YouTubers. The first was recommended to me, or rather, it was hyped up in a video by Burn Enough. Burn Enough is a YouTube channel that I've been checking out recently. He specifically covers military science fiction. I love when booktubers get that niche and they go extra hard on it. I love the fact that he's all about military sci-fi. And so he did a video recently about this. This is a graphic novel, The 388th by Tony Bourne. This is a black and white indie comic. And yeah, it's apparently about a group of rebel soldiers fighting against some kind of overbearing government military in the not too distant future. And it's got some very nice black and white art. It's got this kind of gritty style, but with these goofy, super deformed character designs that I actually really like. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. There's a series of these that Tony Bourne put out. I think it was a web comic originally, and then he started publishing the collections of the web comic through print on demand, which is awesome. And then the next book I picked up was recommended to me by Matt from Science Fiction Reads. Speaking of people who haven't been on YouTube for a while, that's not entirely true. Matt posts every now and then. But I was on a live stream with Matt a while ago. I think I was on one of Jake's live streams. And Matt was like, Tim, have you read We Are All Legends by Daryl Schweitzer? And I was like, no, I've not. And he was like, you need to read We Are All Legends by Daryl Schweitzer. And then he proceeded to describe it as Jarell of Joiry, but set during the Crusades with a slightly less competent male protagonist. And I was like, dude, you had me at Jarell of Joiry. So I finally buckled down and bought a copy of We Are All Legends by Daryl Schweitzer. I had never heard of this before Matt was talking about it. And it appears to be... Oh, we have some black and white illustrations. I didn't see those originally. That's awesome. It appears to be a collection, fix-up of short stories about a particular sword and sorcery hero that I think have gone out of print in other publications. The only way you can get this that I know of is through print on demand on Amazon. And I think Daryl Schweitzer has some other books that are also available through print on demand. I don't know, I've never read it before, but according to Matt, it's some awesome, trippy, psychedelic sword and sorcery. So I will have to check it out. If it's anything like Jarell of Joiry, it's probably going to be awesome. And then, oh boy, here we have a cautionary tale. So Jake mentioned that his next pick for the Elusive Exclusive Book Society was going to be A Spectre is Haunting Texas by Fritz Leiber. And I got excited because I had watched a video by Joseph Reed Books where he described A Spectre Haunting Texas as one of the most ridiculous reading experiences of his life. And he recommended that Jake read it. And Jake said he wanted to do it with me and Nick for Ebes. And so, yeah, obviously I was excited because I like Fritz Leiber. I need to read more of his stuff outside of Fafford and the Grey Mouser. And so I found a cheap hardcover copy of A Spectre Haunting Texas. And I saw it on eBay. It had the eBay listing with pictures of the original dust jacket with some gnarly looking cover art that I thought would look awesome on my bookshelf. So I really wanted it. And it was only $5. So I went ahead and bought it. And only too late did I see that the seller was through Thrift Books. And I thought, well, okay, I've had some weird experiences with Thrift Books in the past. I know my friends have had some weird experiences with Thrift Books. But what's the worst that could happen? And so what they sent me did not have the dust jacket. And in addition, it looked like someone had stepped on this with a boot. I don't know how well it shows up, but it looks like there are tread marks on this poor science fiction book club edition of A Spectre Haunting Texas. Yeah, you can really see it right there. So yeah, I was not happy with that, but I could have raised a stink about that. I could have contacted the seller and been like, hey, I want my money back. I've done that before many times on eBay. But I figured, you know what? I deserve this. I was stupid enough to buy something from Thrift Books. But never again. Never again will that happen. And besides, it's still a readable enough copy. It looks like someone trampled it. Ooh, we have someone's sticker on the inside. Ex Libris, James F. Ferris. James F. Ferris, if you're out there, I have your besmirched copy of A Spectre Haunting Texas by Fritz Leiber. You can't have it back. It's mine now. And lastly, I got a bunch of comics from my best friend Ryan, who picked these up specifically for me. I think he was at a flea market or comic book store or something with his family, and he was buying his kids' toys and action figures, and he saw a big stack of Conan comics, and he thought of me. And so he bought them for me, which is awesome. I love that guy. Ryan, if you're watching, you're my best friend for a reason. So yeah, he bought me quite a few of these old Marvel Conans. So here we have this one, the nice cover. Conan the Barbarian. The saga begins. The coming of Conan. I flipped through this a little bit. It looks like they kind of go into some territory that you're not really supposed to go with Conan stories. Going back to Samaria. Exploring his origin with his family. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that kind of thing, but I don't know. The art looks pretty good. It's, the artist is, Ron Lim? Ron Lam? Is that what that says? The typeface is very blotchy and hard to read. But I like the art. It's very cool. Next we have this issue of Conan the Barbarian. Conan the Renegade. Conan looks very gnarly there. Ooh, I need to show off the ads on the back. That's what we do with comics here on this channel. That first one had an ad for the Demon Sword for NES. Not a video game I'm familiar with, but looked like it had an awesome cover at the very least. And then that second comic has an ad for Crunch and Munch, now featuring Marvel trading cards. I actually always preferred Crunch and Munch over Cracker Jacks and other caramel corn confections of that ilk. Next we have a Conan classic. This is actually, I actually have this this issue as part of the first Conan the Barbarian Epic Collection. Yeah, this is obviously drawn by Barry Windsor Smith, his very iconic art style on the front there. Yep, that's all Barry Windsor Smith. Good stuff. Next we have Conan the Adventurer, grappling for his life there. That's cool. Who did the art for this one? Raphael Kayanin? Not someone I'm familiar with, but looks pretty cool. It appears he also did the art for this copy, The Abominations of Yondo. Oh boy. Got some serpent action going on. Snakes in my city. Conan the Barbarian, the Usurper, Part 2, Cimmerian Rage. All right. Oh, I keep forgetting to show the ads off. All right, we got Lords of Illusion. Not a movie I'm familiar with, but it's Clive Barker, so it's probably freaky. We got an ad for the console version of Mortal Kombat. Nothing can prepare you. September 1994 For Super Nintendo, Genesis, yada yada. The X-Men have been canned with Chef Boyardee. And oh my gosh, on the back of Sumerian Rage, we got an ad for Star Wars The Masters of Terraskazi. Oh my gosh, the Star Wars game everyone wants to forget. The most cringeworthy line of dialogue in an official Star Wars movie was that exchange in Solo, a Star Wars story, where Emilia Clarke's character, like, doesn't she, like, roundhouse kick somebody, and then Han is like, where'd you get those moves? Or what style of fighting is that? And she goes, Terraskazi. It's a great idea, Disney. Make a reference to a Star Wars game no one liked in your stupid Star Wars spin-off movie. This has been a really ranty video so far. I apologize. Ooh, and here we have Conan the Barbarian Annual, number 9. And is that some Ernie Chan art I detect on the front cover there? I believe it is. I think it's Ernie. Yes, it is. It is the great Ernie Chan. Oh, yeah. And on the back of this one, we have an ad for Frogger 2. All right. Beyond the Pond. I like Frogger. Frogger's fun. And then this was cool. This is the second issue of Robert E. Howard's Kings of the Night, which was a comic event that Dark Horse did once they got the rights to Robert E. Howard's material for their comics. I have actually not yet read the story Kings in the Night. I know it's like a crossover between King Kull and Bran McMorn, who's an awesome Howard character. And on the back here, we have an ad for Mobius Zero, the Horny Goof. And now that I'm looking at that, I don't know if I can show that that bit of art on the back. What are you doing, Mobius? You're not supposed to do that on YouTube. Okay, that's it. That's the book haul. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry if this is turned into a rant and a rave. I apologize. But until next time, as always, farewell and keep reading. Oh my goodness, my videos are just getting worse and worse as the days go by.
I have never seen anyone do... What was that?
Terraskazi.
You serious?